I'd like to talk to you today about World Religion Day. This day is sometime in January, usually around the 20th of the month. And it's always fascinated me. And I'd like to share with you from this written document a little about what it really is about. And I think it's important that we actually listen and react in our own way towards this. This is important. The unity of mankind is at stake here. Let's take a look at the unity of mankind and the getting together as one people. World Religion Day is celebrated annually during the third week of January, and it was established by people of goodwill who wish to further understand and promote unity between the followers of the great religions of the world. Knowledge of comparative religions then takes on a vitality and meaningfulness that is missing in the academic classroom. For living followers of the world religions, communicating as people, seeking peace and security in a shrinking world, can throw down the barrier of their own prejudices and utilize the light of their own reason. Where before was dislike that might slowly yield to tolerance, now there was a sympathy that may give way to love. The first great assembly of such seekers of truth was the Congress of Religions, or the World Parliament of Religions, which was held in Chicago in the year 1893. Since that time, other congresses have been held, but more recently this has been established as an annual event. In the world today, there are something like 170 million Buddhists, 370 million Hindus, 400 million Muslims, and 850 million Christians. There are an additional millions of Jews, Zoroastrians, and Baha'is. There are also large numbers of animists, atheists, and followers of man-made beliefs and sects. No single religion holds a majority of the peoples of the world. None, in fact, is more than a strong minority. Because of this diversity of belief, it becomes urgent to explore all avenues of approach to prevent religious prejudice furnishing that spark which would set off a Third World War. Although the followers of many ancient revelations have been absorbed into latter revelations or have vanished with time, yet it is a fact that there are living believers of 9 revealed religions upon the earth today. The Sabians, small in number or influence, have the oldest religion, dating back 6,000 or more years. Their deterioration is so great they can place no spokesman upon the platforms of the world to present their beliefs. The Baha'is, also small in number and influence at present, have the youngest religion, dating at this time to 172 years. Their enthusiasm is so great, however, that they have already established their faith in over 400 countries, major islands and dependencies on the earth. The established religions of prophetic age are those that can boast of multitudes of followers and great influence upon world affairs. Yet their energies are sapped by factional disputes, and their truths are obscured by dogma and ritual. These great religions have a pressing need to review their relationships with those who were once united with them in a common cause, as well as to investigate possible areas of agreement and understanding between these vast and powerful bodies. Isolation and hostility between religions or sects has never been part of the teachings of the messenger of God. Yet history shows us that hundreds of thousands of Christians and Muslims, for instance, lost their lives in the Crusades, and that nearly 1 million Catholics and Protestants were killed in the so-called Reformation. If such were the basic nature of religion, then it is well said, better no religion at all. World Religion Day is celebrated by meetings in which the followers of the different beliefs come together to hear speakers of other conviction explain their faith, and where all express their hope that mankind will overcome differences so that peace may come upon the earth. World Religion Day is one aspect of man's expression of concern and yearning for unity, since it relates to man's belief in a God of mercy and love, who has promised the establishment of his kingdom on earth for the benefit of all. That which divided the religions and sects of the world is the interpretation of similar symbols contained in all the holy books, and disagreements over the meaning of the symbols within each holy book. These differing interpretations, based upon limited human understanding, became crystallized in dogma, which the succeeding generations follow as time-honored tradition. Those who would make a different interpretation of the great signs and symbols once the great heresy trials are over, and some agreement has been enforced, branch off in their own direction to further subdivide the original teachings. Thus we see each religion claiming to have the only truth, and we witness hundreds of sects stemming from the one simple teaching of a Moses, Jesus, or Muhammad. That which has unified man in times past was the message of love given by the great educators of God. During the time of Jesus, for instance, the warring and hate-torn Assyrians, Egyptians, Jews, Greeks, and Romans were enabled to experience love and unity through their acceptance of Christ's teaching. And the fierce warriors of 100 quarrelsome tribes were united under Muhammad's banner of brotherhood. It is only later that differences or interpretations began to divide this union of spiritual brothers. In each of the established religions, then, splitting beyond repair has taken place. Today, many years after their establishment, we discover through the story of comparative religions a basis for the intellectual acceptance of an underlying unity in all religions. One such finding indicates that all religions teach the version of the Golden Rule. Therefore, participation in World Religion Day meetings gives many individuals a new insight and an emotional appreciation of the common aspects of all ideas, beliefs, and a hope for some basis of unity. The major question for today has become, how do we overcome these forces which threaten to destroy us? People of all faiths recognise an urgent need to overcome dividing trends before the differences swamp mankind in a horrible world catastrophe. If man is divided in his beliefs about God and religion, how can he hope to achieve world unity in the area of race, nationality, and economics? The key to this unity rests on a true understanding of God's religion. Without this key, which unlocks the meaning of the symbols found in all the holy books, there can be no coming together. Though most people will give lip service to the belief that God ranks higher than nation, race, or economic theory, yet in actual practice, they behave as though these areas were none of God's business. We have the witness of history for the fact that fanaticism has caused many a bloody war and cost many a precious life. Yet it is the two great world wars which most clearly show the result of any group clinging to outmoded concepts. Because of an economic theory, or the idea of a super race, or the ideal of my country right or wrong, men have set aside the teachings of God to devote their energies to perfecting more efficient ways of killing one another. Unless the causes of warfare are removed, there can be nothing in store for humanity but a series of ever more destructive wars. And there is no agency known to man capable of stilling the causes of hatred other than a love of God expressed through love for one's fellow men, which stands above all other loyalties or beliefs. Religion in its original purity has always been the cause of unity and love. There are many who hold this latter belief, but they view the decaying remains of a religion already centuries beyond its time, or beyond its prime, to draw this conclusion. One cannot judge the strength of youth by observing the 100-year-old man. So one cannot evaluate the power of God's revelation by observing their latter-day infirmities. Thus we should be able to conclude that a fresh revelation of God's truth is vitally necessary from age to age. By learning about other great world religions, people are able to see similarities where formerly they imagined only differences. Then a person may allow himself to doubt that his own beliefs are the only true path of salvation. This is a big step beyond bigotry. However, it is then necessary to wonder about the source of all the religions, to question the standard interpretation. If an individual can reach this stage, he is free from the fetters of dividing opinion. Such a one is ready to investigate the claims of Baha'u'llah. Unfortunately, prejudices keep many people at the level of tolerance. This, of course, is far better than warfare, but it still falls far short of unity. The general public attitude today seems to be that we are all jolly good fellows, each on our own ladder to God. This is far from the religious zeal that originally established these religions in the world. This is public hypocrisy, and it is also bad logic, since it begs the question as to the source of all these ladders. When pinned down to a statement of basic belief, each religious leader and almost every follower will admit that his is the only real, true and valid path to God. If the motive for celebrating a World Religion Day is to pass beyond the level of a pious wish, it must steel itself for the hard job of seeking for truth. This motivation has not come yet, for only a mild anxiety caused by 2 world wars and a vague dread of a 3rd world war has moved men to the level of establishing a World Religion Day. It may take the chaos of unimaginable troubles to instill the desire to do more than talk once a year about unity. All spiritual people pray such may not be necessary, but most thinking people doubt that it could be otherwise. Thank you for listening.
Oh my God, unite the hearts of thy servants and reveal to them thy great purpose, and reveal to them thy great purpose. May they follow thy commandments and abide in thy law. Help them, O God, in their endeavor, and grant them strength to serve thee. O God, leave them not to themselves, but guide their steps by the light of thy knowledge, and cheer their hearts by thy love, and cheer their hearts by thy love, and cheer